to third session on modern Vastu course. So today what we will see is how to map the directions. Transcribe. Transcription also started. So let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. So okay, you would have seen many people saying, no, so my house is north facing, my house is northeast facing, this is east facing. Some say it is southeast facing, southwest facing. So you have heard all that. So how do we establish that this is a north face or a east face? Okay, so one thing is people, what they did in earlier times, in the classical times. So there are in a year, no, there are 2 days on which we have equinox. Equinox means the sun is exactly at the 12-hour, the 24-hour if you split, right? So 12-hour night and 12-hour day. So it will be equal. The day is equal. That is because the earth is passing, the sun is passing through the earth at 0 degrees. Like if you see, no, generally, here. See, if this is the east-west direction. So generally what happens is 6 months from here to here, there will be a shift. Okay. And in the other 6 months, it will go to the other side. Like there will be the travel of the axis of the sun's movement along the earth. No, it will be tilted like this. So only that equinox day, it comes at 0 degrees. So this was the day they used to map the east direction. So generally what they used to do is they used to keep they used to call Trishanku. So in the middle of the plot, they will put a small stick and they will trace the shadow. So they keep tracing the shadow, and when the shadow exactly becomes straight, so this line they used to take it as a east direction, the line. For example, the equinox comes in March and in September, March 23rd, I think, and September 23rd. So like if you start from January, maybe the sun would be, the direction should be like this. Then by the time it reaches March, it will be here. And after March, it keeps moving that side. It goes to the other side. So when you keep tracing these lines now, this intersection between the two lines, the middle bisecting line, what you get. So this will be the east axis line, which you take as a reference. So like this they used to do. But in modern times, it is difficult to wait for such a long time and all that. And we have a lot of gadgets for this, right? So since the sun's axis is shifting, actually the sun is not shifting because we are measuring from Earth, we find that the sun is shifting. So since the sun is shifting, no, so it is not conducive for us to measure easily. So what we do is the only static line is the magnetic line. That is north-south, north versus south. No, so this north-south axis, the magnetic axis, is what we take as a reference for Vastu. So generally, if you take any compass, okay, this red direction, what it shows is the north direction. So always it will point towards the north pole of the Earth. Okay. So since this north also, no, there are different true north and all that. So generally we follow the magnetic north with respect to the magnetic axis. Okay. So there are other concepts in this like declination and all that, but we will ignore that because it's beyond the scope of this subject. Okay. So generally what in modern Vastu they do is declination in India is very less. It's like 2 degrees, 1.5 degrees, 2 degrees, 2.5 degrees. But if you move towards this African side and all, no, so they have up to 10 to 12 degrees declination. So for now, we will ignore that. Generally, it is not considered. So what we do is the magnetic north from the compass itself, we consider as the cardinal direction. So using this north as a reference is what we draw our Vastu grid. So you would have seen even in plan, no, when you get an architect's plan, when you're trying to build a house. So after all the working plan they put, right, in one of the corner, they would have given that compass with the north direction marked. Like approximately it would be tilted to a direction, or it will be straight 90 degree or 180 degree. But generally they mark the north. So even all the civil engineers or architects, they use the magnetic north as a reference for creating the plan. Okay. Okay. So now how do we fix this north in our plan or in our Vastu? Whether it is an existing house or whether it is a new house which you're going to build. Okay. So before getting into this north, no, so I will show this on Google Earth how to map the degrees. Okay, so before getting into this mapping, I wanted to introduce one more concept. See, in the olden days, now what they used to do, they used to use a 9x9 grid. So 9x9. So whatever plot is there, they divide it into 9 parts. North side, they divide 9 parts. East also, they divide 9 parts. And they connect all these. And these are all 32 entrances, which they say. And they were saying, okay, this entrance 3 and 4 in the east is good. In the south, 11 and 12 is good. In the west, these two are good. Actually, in north also, there are 2 good entrances, 28, 29, I think. So this falls in 3 and 4. So all these entrances are good. They used to mark like this. Okay, so generally the Dr. Kushdeep Bansal, no, who invented this modern Vastu. So what his research said was, so when you're dividing the width or the length equally, right? So it is not falling into the directional grid. Okay, so we will see an example. So imagine you would have seen square plots. So you would have seen rectangle plots. You would have seen 30 by 40 or 30 by 50. Even we have 20 by 50 plots also. So it could be like this. It could be like this. Some might be tilted 10, 20 degrees. So we have all shapes and sizes depending on where you are buying, in which geography, which place, which locality and all that. Okay, so now we know that all these directions are angular. So the division is always angular. 180 degrees is being divided into, if you say northeast, southwest, these are all 90-degree divisions. And if you are further dividing it into northeast, southwest, southeast, and northwest, so it will further get divided into 2 parts, and each one is 45 degrees. Okay. So now, if I try to fix this grid into this plot, imagine you have a plot vertically like this 20 by 50. So now this is supposed to be the northwest and this is supposed to be the northeast. So, but generally the traditional Vastu, what we do, we take this corner as northeast when we are building, and they say, okay, this is northeast, so here I'll build a puja. But actually this is not a northeast. This is north of northeast. Because the angle, no, if you draw a line from here to this center, yeah, to maximize this to the show. Yeah. Okay. So now we see that this edge is falling here, and we are calling it as northeast. But the northeast is supposed to lie on this diagonal line, right? So this is one flaw which he found. Similarly, if you see the other way, right? So here we are saying this is northeast, but it has already crossed the northeast grid, and it is falling in almost east of northeast, somewhere bisecting this line, maybe at 22.5 degrees like this. So then what he did was, so he said, okay, the divisions should not be linear like what we saw here. These are all linear divisions. Okay. So whenever we have a odd plot like this, ideally, like if I say I make 9 divisions here, then even the door what you get is very small. Imagine 20 feet, you are dividing into 9 parts. All you have is 2 feet. And if it is 15 feet, then hardly you have one and a half feet, right? So this is a flawed concept, or maybe the understanding of the Vastu people who are implementing from the classicals, their understanding was wrong. And he said the correct way of dividing is through angular division. Okay, so here again, what he did was this 360 degree was divided into 16 zones and further into 32. 32 because we have 32 entrances. Even in the old classical method, we had 32 entrances. Even in modern Vastu, we have 32 entrances. So this 360, when you divide it into 32 divisions, so how much do we get? So I will calculate in my 11 degree 25 something we get. 360 divided by 32. Okay, so each zone is 11 degree, 11.25 degrees. 11.25 degrees. So imagine your plot is tilted by 12 degrees. Like you buy a plot and it is at an angle and it is maybe 12 degrees or 15 degrees, it is tilted. And you make an entrance thinking that, okay, this is my entrance number 31, or maybe you take four as the entrance. But in real, what has happened is it has got tilted and your entrance could be 5. So you have wrongly assigned this entrance, thinking that since generally the directions were not so accurately mapped, so it will get shifted by one zone, or I would say one entrance, this thing. So generally zones, what they have done is they have done 16 zones and entrances are 32. Okay. So one zone is 22.5 degrees. Okay. So then he bought this concept of angular division. Okay. So as per this, we have 16 zones, north, south, east, west, then all the diagonals, northeast, southwest, southeast, northwest. So now what do we call this? So he just mixed these both and said north of northwest. So this becomes north of northwest, north of northeast. So this becomes north NNE. Then this he called east of northeast. So whatever is in between, no? So he added, mixed both of these and called it by that zone. So east of southeast, ESE. So southeast and south, south of southeast. So like that, we have 16 zones. In each zone is again, there are 2 entrances like this. So then from here that N1 started. So N1, N2, N3, N4, N8. Then all these are east entrances, E1 up to E8. Then these are south entrances, S1 up to S8. Then W1 up to W8. So all these which are in the west side, these are west entrances. These are north, east and south. So this, what we will do is in the next class, no, each entrance, we will understand what is the effect. So pros and cons, which entrance is good. So all these we will go in depth in the next session. But now to fix this grid on our plan, no, how do we map the degrees? So that is more important. So because if you go wrong in the first step, right, then everything else what you do is gone. Because you wrongly took whether it is 12 degrees or 15 degrees or 20 degrees. So it is going to shift the entrance itself, right? So this is very important. Okay. So here one more example I am showing where you have a vertical, wherein you have a longer house along the north-south axis, where maybe this is roughly around 20 feet, and this could be some 60 feet. Okay, here again, if you see the degrees, no, the north is somewhere here, N4. Okay, this is 0 degree north. That means this house is tilted by almost 18 degrees. It's coming in between. 15, 16, 17. Okay, so this house is tilted by 17 degrees. What he has done is, so this chakra, whatever the Vastu chakra is there, right? So this is oriented on the center point of the Brahmastan. So this is nothing but diagonal. You have to draw a diagonal from here to here, here to here. So on the diagonal, you fix the center point and you rotate the chakra according to the degrees which you have mapped, either from the compass or through Google Maps or Google Earth. Okay. So here it is 17 degrees. So now if you see, no, see this northeast, where is the kitchen? Okay, kitchen. So it is partially falling in south and partially in SSC, and it is not at all in SC. So it is not there in SC. So when they did know, they would have thought this is southeast and they would have done the kitchen here. Okay. So now we can understand. So how flawed that earlier technique was. Okay. So now what I'll do is for mapping, no, I will, since we don't have any plan from any of the students, so what I'll do is I will just take a random map on Google Maps, random house I'll select and we will discuss that. So before getting into that, no, there are different techniques of mapping the degrees. One is through magnetic compass. So you get a professional grade compass. So what you have to do is you have to go stand inside the house, in the middle of the center of the house, and you can check the degrees. So roughly you will get within 3-4 degrees. And nowadays, the problem with mapping using this technique, no, like if you see all the apartments nowadays, it's all concrete construction with a lot of for concrete they put all the bars, right? The TMT bars inside the concrete. So since there are a lot of iron inside the wall, this compass, no, it gets deflected because of. I think somebody is pinging for. Maybe he's asking to join the class. Just check, no, if somebody is there, you can admit them to the class.
Oh, sir.
Nobody, right?
I think nobody, sir.
Speaking. Okay. Okay. So what happens is because of the since there are a lot of iron rods inside the walls, right? So it will kind of deflect the magnetic flux. So you don't get an accurate reading. Maybe it might deflect by plus or minus 3, 4, 5 degrees here and there. So then what happens is the most accurate way is to map through Google Maps or Google Earth. Okay. So, but for that, existing houses, it is easy. But if you're newly constructing, the only reference you have is streets, the roads on the thing, right? So that is the only reference you can take. So what I'll do is on the Google Maps. So I was just going through roughly and I understood, see, if you look at this area, no, this is Indranagar. Okay, this was all BDA constructed, right? See, this is usually the vertical is north direction. See how beautifully they have aligned all these along that
Roads, sir.
east, west, north, south. And
That's
you
why
see a
Indiranagar people are very rich, sir.
not like that. See, it is easy to construct houses in that.
Okay.
See, whatever is the angle, no, you can still make a Vastu perfect house. Only thing is, in the urban planning itself, they have taken care so nicely that it is all, even HSR, if you see, right?
Yes,
Very
sir.
beautifully they have mapped. See, this is our HSR layout. Just randomly, when I opened the map, I thought, oh, which is so nicely they have done. So all these roads, see, everything is perfectly mapped. But on the other hand, there are so many other areas. See how angularly they have done everything, random angles, random this thing. So this area also, this is all old Bangalore, Jayanagar. So
Okay,
how
sir.
beautifully they have mapped.
Jayanagar,
Yes.
full
Sorry,
oldest
here
one, sir.
also. Correct, correct. All these so beautifully they have mapped all the degrees. Okay. So now we will take some random angle, which is because we want to take from this, right? It is easy for us. Um, Sony signal, which is this area. Adgodi, Adgodi. Okay, so let us take something from here. Since the angle is not too skewed, Lazarus Industries. Okay. Okay, so we will take this Lazarus Industries. What is the degrees? I'll copy this. This is for Google Earth. So you can take these coordinates for input into Google Earth. Okay, so if you look at this now, so the vertical is north. So that means this building would have got tilted at least by 20-25 degrees, right? Approximately. This line from the vertical, if you see, there is at least a 20-degree tilt, 20-25 degrees. Okay, so generally what you have to do is like if this is your house, no, take the coordinates from this Google Earth, sorry, Google Maps. See, here you get the coordinates. So you can copy, and there is an application called, this is a free application, Google Earth Pro. You can install on your desktops. Okay, so you can input this coordinates here and search. Okay, so now this will lead you to that same location which we were checking. Okay, so here what happens is, imagine this is just a plot and there is no building. So you can take this road itself as a reference. But here, since it's a constructed one, we will take this plot as a reference. So the advantage in Google Earth is, one, we can measure the sizes also as well as the angle. Okay, so you can go to this application. This is a ruler. Okay, you can take path or line, whatever. So if I map this edge from here to here, this is the length. This will give the degrees from this point to this point. So this is now saying 25.53 degrees. So now you can conclude this tilt is 25 degrees and this vertical is the north vertical. So then what you have to ideally do is you have to tilt the Vastu Chakra by 25 degrees onto your plan. Whatever plan you get, either from the architect or from the builder, or if you don't have a plan, it's an existing house, you can hire some AutoCAD draftsman. He will prepare and give it, if you have the actual sizes. If not, you can call somebody, they will measure the physical walls and they can make a plan for you. So then what you have to do is you have to take the degrees and rotate the chakra onto this and map it to the center. So then you have a perfect alignment. So from there you can check your Vastu. So this is the actual approach, practical approach on how to map the house. So what you can do is, currently wherever you're staying now, whether it is you have the plan or not, so you can go to Google Maps, onto Google Earth, so you can feed in and check the tilt. So maybe I can show my location. So I had about 10 to 12 degrees tilt, I think. So this, when I mapped with this, no, the magnetic, it was showing some 8 degrees. But when we actually checked from Google Maps, those days, this I was not using, I was using Google Maps, and there it was showing some 10, 12 degrees. So
what is the, negligible tilt, sir? I mean, percentage wise.
percentage
What?
is, that's what, up to 3, 4, 5, up to 5 degrees, it's still fine, or 3 to 4 degrees. See,
Okay.
one segment is 11.25 degrees, right?
Yes, sir.
So, so around 25% of that, maybe up to 3 degrees, you can ignore. Why no? See, what happens is, when you are mapping, there are some zones where the toilet seats should not fall. So even if it is 3 degrees, it could still fall into that zone, right? The toilets.
Okay.
Also, what in modern Vastu, what we say is, always match the symptom to the plan. Suppose you have some issue with some particular zone, maybe some cash liquidity problem. So that we know it is southeast zone issue. And we are trying to map now. If the toilet is falling 3, 4 degrees after that also, you can consider it, because maybe there is some error in taking the degrees, right? So you can calibrate it, or as a trial and error, you can adjust it, that 3, 4, 5 degrees. So that's why generally we say, even if you fail here with a 3 or 4 degree or 5 degree error, you have to try to match the symptom, mainly the problem with the Vastu. So then you can easily catch, okay, maybe my the degrees what I've taken is slightly off. So that is why it is there, and you can match it to that.
What is the remedy, sir, if southeast or something like this?
That remedies we will talk in the end. So we will go
Acha.
step by step. So now
Okay.
we are trying to only analyze, or how to get the degrees right. So then next step, what we'll do is we will go into the entrances, different entrances. Then we have a bar chart technique where we are going to map the zonal strength. So each zone, what is the strength? So which zone is stronger, which zone is weak? So then next step, we will go into that space programming. So then we will go into the remedies. If the zone imbalance is there, how do we remedy it? So remedies will come last. So we will go step by step. Okay, so for each zone we will talk. So generally what we do is we will talk on a concept level. So then what happens, we need not memorize remedies. Or southeast this remedy, northwest this remedy, that is not needed. So as soon as you see the bar chart, so you will say, okay, this is a problem. Okay, this fire is more. Okay, reduce the fire. So what I do? Okay, I'll add this. I'll add that. So it becomes more of what you call. You don't need to have fixed solutions. You have to customize
Okay.
the solutions. And since there is a four-step approach, this we will talk in the next class. So when you go, no, there is a step-by-step approach. So first, what you have to do, you have to balance the zones. So then next step, what you have to do, then you have to start mapping all the objects in the house, activity mapping. Then you have to map the objects. Then you have to map the space. So each, uh, so there you have to try to figure out where is the problem. So then accordingly, we have to do remedy. So if you straight away go to the fourth step without doing the first step, no, even if you do the remedy from the fourth step, you will not get results because at the basic level itself there is no balance. No, the zones itself is not balanced, and we are straight away going to the fourth step and trying to do some. That's why many remedies which they put, no, like you have seen that horses running, that 7 horses running, many people put, right. So all those are advanced remedies which will work only when this step 1, step 2, step 3 is all fine. That is, your entrances is taken care of. All the zonal strength is balanced. Then all the objects which you have kept, those are all balanced. Then finally only the space, this is the last technique, that space programming is there. No, that is last technique. But people straight away, since in Feng Shui, they advise put this there. So they bring and put. So maybe by luck, if everything else is balanced, that will start working. If nothing is balanced, that will not give results. Many would have told, hey, this all doesn't work. We put it is of no use. The main reason why it is not working is other things are out of order. So we have to go step by step. Okay. So that next week we will take that.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So we will go with the entrances. Then next class to that, we will go with the bar chart and zonal strength. So how to map the zonal strength in each building. Then next step, we will go objects, how to map objects and how to detect where the wrong objects are placed or wrong activities being done. And last step only, we go with the space, this thing. So step by step, we will go. So here, okay, maybe we will take one more example just to get a idea of this. Which one shall I take? Okay, so let us take this house. We will take this house, okay? So let me try to map this angle. This is showing 5.58 degrees. Actually, if you take for a longer length, no, it is more accurate than taking for a shorter distance because the error is reduced and the length is more. No? So this is giving 5.73 degree tilt. So with respect to the vertical, it will even show whether it is north or south if you put it in this path, I think. Okay, so you can reorient the north. So this is, you can reorient. So this is approximately 5 degrees, right? So it is showing 185 degree. That means 5 degree is the tilt. So 180 is this 0. From here, 5 degree is tilted to the right. So this is how you have to map the angle. Maybe any one road we can take where there is no plot and okay, maybe this we can take here. Okay, imagine in future somebody has a plot here, they want to build a house. So then what they ideally have to do is they have to take this roads line as a reference. Okay, so this is showing 47 degrees. Okay, 47 degrees tilted. So this is the north and this line is 45 degree tilt, 47 degree tilted. So basically what you have to do, you have to align that Vastu chakra with to 47 degrees. So Vastu Chakra, there are two ways. One is you get it on Amazon, just like how our kids use, the protractor, that 180-degree protractor they use, right? So similar protractor, the Vastu Chakras are available on Amazon. So many people are selling it. So another option is if people are doing that AutoCAD drafting, so they can make a digital one and use it directly on the plan and they can print out. For people who don't have that, they can just print out on a A3 or A4 sheet. So buy this Vastu Chakra and place it on that. Mark it and draw the divisions. So that is the approach they follow. So maybe until next class. So this week I will try not to miss on a Thursday because I prefer Thursdays because it is more of a uh, teaching is a Jupiterian this thing, right? So
Guru.
yeah, Guru. So we will try not to miss this. But sometimes suddenly some work commitments come.
Okay, sir.
So until then, if you have time, you can try to map, get a hang of it. See, this you can even take from Google Maps also. Only thing is, the measuring becomes a bit difficult. Like you can take a snapshot of this and then try to measure it with either print out and measure, or if you're putting this into, if somebody is doing AutoCAD drafting, so they're using the tool, they can measure it. What is the angle? But here it is more easier because it directly gives you the degrees, up to second decimal, and you can even fix third decimal also, but that's not required. So up to 2 decimal, you get the accuracy. So now once this mapping is done, so now once we are sure on the degrees, then we are good to go. Because first step is the entrance mapping. So here, if you see, I think this is kitchen. This is where is the entrance? Okay, this is step entrance. See, actually, entrance also there are two entrance effects. One is the gate entrance, which will work about 20 to 25%, and rest 75 to 80%. Your main door entrance only works. I mean, in terms of results, I'm saying. So what effects it creates, right? So for flats or apartments, your lift entrance will act as your primary entrance, or the main gate entrance will act as a primary. Then your main door acts as the other entrance, which is giving you 80% entrance results. Okay, so here, if I see, I think this was not able to map. It's very tiny. Let me see. Okay, this is hall, bedroom, entrance, west, kitchen. Okay. Oh, this looks like multiple houses, probably. This is the hall in the sense, maybe this might be the entrance. Okay, so here he is marking this as the entrance. If you look here, this S5 and S6. So it's partially S6, partially S5. Looks like it's a big entrance. So this is how we map on the grid, 32 entrance grid. So then based on that, you can see the results from the chart because it's already predefined. The entrance results, it's predefined. All you have to do is you have to map it, figure out what is the entrance, then look at the chart, find out. Any doubts in this session? Maybe we can. Stop sharing. So if you have any doubts, we can clarify. If not, maybe we'll close and meet in the next class. Until then, maybe you can just get a hang of his mapping degrees. Huh?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Krishna, any doubts you have? If no, then we'll connect next week. So let me turn off the recording.